Hey, so anyone that's been on my channel for a decent amount of time will be aware of the rivalry I have with this guy, George Romero. And quite frankly, I feel I haven't done enough to this guy yet, and it totally isn't about the fact that my last video featuring him got 1,000 views or nothing. And well, I know what I said about a third George video. And I decided that I combine them both just because 3 George videos wouldn't be too interesting. But I lied. However, in an attempt to redeem myself, this video will have 2 separate challenges in it, in somewhat of an attempt to make the videos longer, as I've been told quite a few times that I should. And yes, I am looking at you, Mr. Rabbit Banner. But besides that, the 2 challenges that will be featured in this video will be me killing George with grenades and me killing him with just PhD flopper. And I do want to quickly mention, killing him with grenades wasn't exactly my idea, it was a guy named Ghost's idea, and he suggested it to me quite a while back. And I kind of screwed him in a way that I added it into my knife only challenge instead of making it its own challenge, so I kind of cheaped out a little bit. And in that knife only video, I don't even think George felt even a tickle of a grenade, so yeah, it was kind of a wasted thing. Please forgive me, my younger self was quite reckless. Hey, so future me here, well, pass me to you guys because there's no way you could watch a YouTube video in the future. But I just want to quickly mention the joke I just made about my younger self being reckless. I made that and I wrote the script thinking in my head that yeah, that video of me knifing George was only a month or so ago, but I just checked and it was half of a year ago. And I just want to think that's insane, so it really was my younger self, like I could have generally changed in that time. But that also means that I've left Ghost's challenge on, I guess, red for half of a year, so sorry about that. I just wanted to quickly mention, so I'm going to leave it all in, I just find it a bit funny. As Ghost may have suggested the killing him with grenades idea, the PhD idea, that was all me. So guess what? RUSHIN will not be mentioned in this video. See, it can be original. God, watch this video be like the worst one I've ever made because I didn't use one of his challenge. But regardless, I'm going to be doing the grenades only first because that's the order that I played the matches, so let's get right into that. So to begin with, I greeted George with the first of many grenades to come. But as per usual, I think I'm going to state the rules now before I end up forgetting them and have to delete half the video just to add them in, which has happened to me way too many times. But there is only one rule in this challenge, and that is I can do anything I could possibly want in this map, as long as if George doesn't take any damage that didn't come from a grenade. Pretty simple. But I do want to quickly mention, so when I did my knifing the Pentagon Thief only game, I chose to only knife the zombies as well, and I just want to say that little trend of killing the zombies with the same tactics that I used for the boss kind of started and died with that video, and I just want to mention that now that I don't think I'll ever do that again. But on the bright side, if enough people comment for it or show that they want it in some way, I will do a grenade only high round. But even if you don't want to comment for that, please just comment anyway. I love reading them. It gets the dopamine flowing, you know. But apart from that, I rambled long enough. Time to talk about the challenge itself. That's why you're here, isn't it? So I don't really plan to focus on the early game all that much, considering the fact that you guys are normal human beings that hopefully play zombies like a normal human being should. So you've all seen Call of the Dead gameplay before, but just so you know where I am when I start my assault against George, I'm going to give you the necessary little highlights during the rounds. So on round 4 I brought the MPL for protection, and as soon after that I brought some sweet lovely Juggernog. But for some reason I did all that before I ended up getting Quick Revive, which is one of the most important perks for this run, besides while obviously PhD, which was my next purchase. I also hit the box because I was bored of my current weapon, just to get an arguably worse weapon. I know I literally just said I wanted to get back to the video after that little joke I did about the CZ75s. I just want to quickly mention that up to this point, the editing, the voice work, everything to do with this video was done 6 months ago. I don't know, I just wanted to quickly mention that. I'm literally the opposite of a content farm. Good thing I brought Quick Revive because I took my thirst down on round 12, which is one of the worst things that can happen during this challenge. Not for the obvious reason that is one less down to take during the late game. The reason is the same reason I went on about all my purchases through the early rounds, and that is that points are everything in this challenge. Since 4 grenades are 250 points, I think. I'm not looking that up, I can't be bothered. And with that, I've learnt that my past challenges with this guy, it's going to take a metric ton of grenades to kill him, and now I've got to waste my precious points on more perks. And after that devastation of a down, I was that fed up that I decided it was now or never, and on the very same round, I just decided to start my assault against George with only 15,000 points to my name. I'm not gonna lie and say training him around and lobbing my angry sticky balls at him was particularly difficult. I would just walk him around the narrow bits of the boat or just let him swing at me, and then I'd just throw all 4 Centex at him. Honestly, the challenge isn't that difficult, and that makes it way worse for me though, because it's so mind-numbingly boring. It's literally torture to me when I do these challenges, but honestly that's how pretty much every George challenge goes, because without the zombies, George is just a big pushover with a lot of health. But after 15 minutes of training him, I had almost spent every point I had, but I did see an orange flicker on his spotlight which gave me a lot of false hope. That's foreshadowing if you couldn't tell. But you know what doesn't need to be foreshadowed? The fact that I missed 2 of my grenades when throwing them at him, and that just perfectly lined up with the cooler happened to be there, ending the round, which is a good opportunity to get more points, but it's also a very big risk of me getting another down since my brain had already been mushy at this part of the challenge. But surprisingly enough for me, round 13 went off without a hitch, and I now had 7,500 points to my name, which my dumbass thought would be enough to kill him. Plot twist, it wasn't, and after throwing grenades at him for another hour, which actually turned out to be about 10 minutes, I'd been bled dry of points. But unfortunately, round 14, unlike round 13, came with a huge hitch, and that hitch came in the form of 2 downs, and that means I have no quick revive, no points. I'd spent my points twice now on perks, I've hit rock bottom in this challenge, and honestly, I was ready to give up in that moment. But I managed to survive just long enough to get the amount of points needed for Jug, and every point from now on went straight to killing George, and I'd like to say it was my determination to kill him and that I don't need PhD, I'm too good of a player, but you know the truth is, it was just the mini gambler in me just kept talking, the little devil on my shoulder, because every single time I got enough points for PhD, it went instantly into killing George, because I just assumed that he was that close, he's about to die any second now, and I kept making this bet, and well, I kept losing it. And no PhD made this challenge so much more difficult, since I went from being nearly invincible to every single time I attacked him, he turned into a glorified homing missile, running right at me, and it was like this for the next couple rounds until about round 17, where I finally decided to say fuck it and just got PhD, which made the challenge so nice and so boring just the way I like it. But just on brand with the Buffett Sum channel, it kinda just died almost instantly after I got PhD, and this made me learn one very, very important life lesson, and that is that I should always keep gambling, since the next win will always be around the corner. And that goes for you too, the viewers. We should all gamble together, since it will be more socially acceptable if we lose all our money at once, because then it's just a party. But all jokes aside, you finally reached the part in every Buffett Sum video where we do a quick challenge analysis. In my research, I found that Semtex do 185 damage to 200 damage, and I'm just going to use 185 for my number just because it's more consistent. So George has 250,000 health per player, and since I've got no friends, he just has 250,000 health. So 250,000 divided by 185 gives us a number of 1,351, and holy shit, is that a lot of grenades. And with each grenade costing 250 points a piece, I would have spent roughly 337,750 points on grenades alone during this challenge. Also, just another quick thing, since I'm not the best at throwing grenades on target, I'm going to say that if I missed around about 20% of all grenades during this challenge, the real number would be 1,621, and that would have cost me 405,250 points, and I personally believe this is the accurate number for the challenge, because I did miss quite a few grenades. But if you don't want to believe that number, you can go back to the old one, but each to their own. But now, it's finally time for me to kill him with PhD Flopper. And in me actually doing these challenges, this was the one I was most excited for, because it's just, I've never really tried doing it, even slightly. But I'm not really going to show you the early rounds on this segment of the video, because you've literally just seen it. But if you're so curious to see what the early rounds look like, just click on this timestamp, it will literally take you, they're all the same. But just so I can make the videos just a little bit longer, I'm just going to give you the highlights of what went on so you know where we're at. So I spawned in, killed zombies, got points, and I brought Quick Revive. And then I killed more zombies, got more points, and then I brought Juggernog. And then I just killed a little bit more of the zombie population and got PhD. And now it's time to attack George. So to begin with, I pissed off George and I brought him to the lighthouse area. Props to anyone that actually knows what this is called, because I have no clue what it's called, and I only chose it because a certain someone did a PhD high around there, and it looked like a good spot, and well, surprise surprise it was. But for some unknown reason, I had to ruin the good thing that I had going with George in this spot, and I just started running around the map, and honestly, I have no clue why I did this. I played this game 7 months ago, and I must have just been a dumbass back then. But to no one's surprise, this decision actually caused me to take a down on one of the easiest challenges I've ever done in the history of my channel. But honestly, I don't even know what happened with this down. I mean, I went to go and get on a flop on him, and I sort of just got stuck and I couldn't get up, and he just sort of beat me to death. There's not much to it. This one's entirely the game's fault and not mine, for once in my life, so that's a point to me. I just wanted to say that I didn't watch the footage properly when I was chaining around the bottom of the lighthouse, and the reason I actually moved was because I accidentally killed the crawler that was chilling there while I was attacking George, and I can't be bothered to go back and change it in my video, and plus the editing software I use makes it near impossible to go back and change things in any of my videos, so thank you for that one, DaVinci Resolve, but I just want to quickly clarify that. So since it had been a new round that I just started, I ended up having another down not long after the down I just had, and well, it's not really one of my videos if I don't have back-to-back downs at least once per challenge. And if I failed or went down one more time during this challenge, I probably would just give up on YouTube, because if I'm failing a challenge this easy, what chance do I ever have? But luckily enough, I got right back on my feet and I bought PhD and Jug and just carried on. And then I actually killed him, and that was actually pretty quick for any challenge that I've ever done. I've never killed him this quickly other than me using the sickle, which was arguably even slower than this. Even more off-brand for any of the challenges that I've ever done. He actually gave me a different perk other than Mule Kick or Deadshot. He gave me Speed Cola, and it was just a great send-off to this challenge, honestly. So now it's time for another little challenge breakdown, and as stated earlier, George has 250,000 health, and I still have no friends, so George's health stays the same, and PhD Flopper does 5,000 damage per flop, so it only took 50 flops to kill him. And yeah, I'm as shocked as you are, because that is insultingly low to kill George, and it just explains why it was so much quicker than all the other challenges. That's it for me actually doing the challenges and talking about it. This is the part where I actually just talk to you guys for a minute, and I do want to quickly apologise for my terrible upload schedule, but nothing's really changed with me. It's not as easy as you think just to record every 2 seconds. Well, it is, but I don't like recording when family's home, so I'm kind of restricted on that front. But 2 months between uploads is a complete pipe dream. It seems amazing compared to the 10 months that it's been this time. And I've really been lacking, but honestly, when I get my own place and I get my own space to record and I get everything just the way I like it, I'll be on par with the content farms, and you'll be sick of the videos that you see of me at that point. But other than that, if you want to comment and give me a challenge idea, trust me, I do them, as you can see with this video as an example. And if you are as smart in the head as me and you're quite dry for ideas, either steal them off Russian, or just comment down below and say something mean or nice. It depends on what you really want to do. And well, that's it for me. See ya.